back in Colorado, how does it feel? You get a chance to come back to the organization that it all began with. Just talk about that and getting the opportunity to put back on the purple and black.
Yeah, it's a bit surreal to be back wearing Rockies gear and just kind of thinking back to some of these young guys in here that 20 years ago I was kind of in their shoes, and but down in Tucson, Arizona, they got a much nicer place to sort of break into the minor league system. But it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to be back and to get a chance for Jeff to give me a chance to come down here and kind of get knock the dust off a little bit and see what happens. But I was eager to get the opportunity to come back to the Rockies, an organization that I'm very fond of and had a lot of great memories with, and hopefully get a chance to be part of it again.
How did the conversation start between you and the organization? Was it you maybe want to get back in the game, or them talking to you?
Well, I still have a lot of friends with the organization, and I think that they had been kind of somewhat telling Jeff that I still had interest in playing, and so he reached out to me, and a couple guys said, hey, Jeff's going to give you a call, and he reached out to me about a week ago, I guess, and just said, hey, are you interested? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And so, just kind of put together a plan of what that might look like, and just kind of been in contact the last 4 or 5 days, and worked out for one of the scouts, and just kind of it's kind of how it happened. It's at this point in my career, it goes pretty fast. There's not a whole lot of negotiations or anything. It's just like, hey, an opportunity, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
So what all do you plan to do here? Just trying to get back into game shape?
Yeah, I talked to Jeff about that. I think he, for the most part, just doing mostly pregame stuff for the first few days, and especially on this homestand, just getting kind of my baseball legs back underneath me, and he said it's kind of up to me if the last day or two, if I want to play in the game, that's something I could do. But we'll just kind of see how the next couple days go. I'm going to do some pregame stuff, take batting practice, do some defense, and then we'll see after that. But so I'm basically here until the homestand's over, and then probably move on to Albuquerque or AAA.
Did you put expectations on yourself? Like, what's sort of your goal here? Kind of getting back in form.
Yeah, just kind of kind of getting back into the routine of batting practice and doing some defensive stuff and getting my legs and running and maybe running some bases, and those are kind of things that you use for spring training. When you don't do that, you're sort of on an expedited process. But basically, yeah, just trying to see how fast I can kind of feel like I'm ready to take at bats and compete at a high level.
Kids are helping you out as well.
Yeah, that's the one thing is I've been throwing a lot of batting practice and hitting with them and doing stuff. So it's not like I've been sitting on the couch. So it's fun to have them around and sharing this kind of experience with them.
I know there's a lot of young players. I know Jake said you're kind of laughing that your kid was on varsity, and so was the guy at the locker next to you this year. So they're going to come up and kind of want to pick your brain a little bit. What do you try to tell a young kid?
I think it's more an individual of something that they're curious about. It's hard. I basically just want to be available and be able to help them with anything that they might. So it's not like it's one of those things where you just say, hey, do this or do that. I think it's kind of individual. If a guy has a question about lifestyle or taking care of himself or to swing mechanics to really anything, just being available and being able to talk to the guys and spend some time with them, get to know them a little bit, and let them feel comfortable if they do have questions to be able to ask.
I'm sure you've seen the Rockies obviously run here in the past couple weeks or so. Well, anxious to get back in that form.
No doubt. I think that was one of the main things that kind of got me going was how well they're playing and the potential to potentially go into, a postseason and make another run at a World Series. So they're playing great, very talented team, and the young pitchers are pitching really well right now. So it's exciting to watch, and like I said, part of the excitement of talking to Jeff about being able to contribute was something that has been fun to watch.
Has Jeff kind of talked to you about what role he wants you once you get to Denver?
Yeah, I think he mentioned being able to play some outfield and first base and being flexible to where they could find at bats for me, and being able to come off the bench in big spots or against lefties, so I think that all kind of will work itself out as we go. But I think the first part is getting back into playing shape and ready to be able to take at bats at a high level.
Be fun to run down third base again and
Yeah.
slide across.
Touch
Yeah.
on plate.
People are still saying you never touched the plate.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I think it's time to move on. It's been many, many years, and it's time for the San Diego fans to move on.
And even the manager.
Yeah, I told Buddy, I was like, hey, I think even with instant replay, they wouldn't have overturned the original call. So I think it's safe to say it's time to move on.
Good.
I'm
Yeah,
sad, yeah.
very
I'm
good.
good.